This is another living doe, Robert Rockefeller. Living does have a rough road. They are dependent on the community for their services. They have no way to get Medicaid coverage without a name or a social security number. The man known as Robert Rockefeller has some history, but none of those things. He's been arrested numerous times and has been a ward of the state on and off since 2007. There's no indication he was homeless originally, but there's an implication that that was the case. Like so many of the clients I had when I worked in the field, he would find himself revolving in and out of inpatient care for mental illness. Although in this case there's no psychiatric diagnosis that's publicly recorded. It's unclear if he was abusing substances, although in cases like this, it's somewhat likely with many arrests. Often it's a pretty good guess. The revolving door stopped when Robert had a heat stroke. He was found with a shopping cart full of spoiled food and in medical distress. He ended up in a nursing and rehabilitation center in Chicago, Illinois. In his first half year alone, he racked up $47,000 in charges the city had to absorb due to the situation. He was last living in a nursing home in North Lake, Illinois, which is about 20 miles outside Chicago. Robert isn't sure what his real name is. When asked if it was truly Robert Rockefeller, he gave the response, "That's a good question. It's very unlikely this is his real name," and he'd given multiple different names over the years when he was arrested. And he had no ID, so they never knew if the name was or wasn't true. Those pictures still probably remain a great lead, however. If anyone knows who he is, it would look more like the man he was that they remember. They describe him as having an altered mental state and being disoriented as far as the standard assessment of questions of recognizing person, place, and time. This is a standard tool when addressing every time someone with mental illness enters a hospital. They say he's used dozens of names and aliases. He believes he lived in Berwyn, Illinois. His court-appointed guardian took him on an excursion around town, hoping he'd recognize areas. It appears it worked to a degree. It's reported he recognized a building and the intersection outside of South Harlem Avenue and West Cernick Road, but nothing came from it. There are also very valid questions about how capable he is of relaying information due to his cognitive issues, so it's very hard to know what is true. Robert's around 5'10", and it's listed that he appears to be 70 to 75 years old. That would mean he was born around 1947 to 1952. Robert Rockefeller has gone unidentified for 10 years. The Pecos County Jane Doe, identified as Debra Jean Houston. Debra Houston disappeared, ironically enough, from Houston, Texas, on December 25, 1989, and her family had no clue as to what happened to her. It would be 7 years later, in 1996, that her remains were found off the interstate in Texas, near mile marker 288. Her death was investigated as being considered either drug-related or accidental, initially ruling accidental, although why she was there couldn't be determined. Like so many before her, there weren't many clues. They knew she had a shotgun wound to her left hip and arm that had healed. She also had a gold star shape cut out of her front tooth, with some random effects like a red blanket found near her body. Her identity remained a mystery until March of 2022. Debra Houston was missing for 32 years. She went unidentified for 25. Thanks everybody for watching and listening. We have new episodes every Monday and Thursday. Take care of yourselves and each other.